God's chosen ones, you just shifted into something holy. You're the first God to do this tonight. As the city exhales softly, a thin wind moves through the trees, and somewhere in the distance a bell rings 3 slow times. Your clock flickers 11:11. God's chosen ones, stop and listen. Pause for just a moment. Place your hand over your chest. Feel your heartbeat change rhythm like you've just stepped through an invisible door. You've seen it 777 on the receipt, on the license plate, in the dream that wouldn't let go. That's not coincidence, it's a signal calling your name right now. Breathe in deeply, let it out slowly. Feel the weight on your shoulders melt away like mist dissolving at dawn. Tonight, if you nod, destiny will turn its axis. 11:11 is not just a time, it's an invitation, and it's waiting for your answer. A fated meeting in the night. The room is dim. A candle trembles, throwing thin ribbons of light across the wall. Outside, the wind taps gently against the window, carrying the sound of falling leaves. You sit awake in the middle of the night, quietly watching the flame flicker, listening to your heartbeat count the seconds as they pass. Everything is so still you can hear your own breathing, slow, deep, a little heavy. You don't know why this night feels different. There's something in the air, chill but not frightening. It feels like a distant call, familiar, ancient. A sense of déjà vu, as if you've sat here before, listened to this same wind, waited for something unnamed. Then, in that silence, a voice speaks, warm, deep, resonant. It rises not from the room, but from within you, God's chosen one. When you hear this, the sign has already been sent. The room stays quiet, but something changes. Everything around you seems to listen to wait. The candle leans slightly, casting your shadow long across the wall like a new robe, strange yet perfectly fitted. The voice continues, soft as breath. You've seen the signs, haven't you? 11:11 glowing on your screen. 777 4 appearing in the middle of ordinary days. You thought it was coincidence, but it wasn't. Nothing is random in the timing of God. Every number, every dream, every shiver in the night, they are all signals, messages sent only to you. You swallow hard. Your heart beats faster. Reason wants to dismiss it, but your soul recognizes it. Something greater is moving. The voice lowers slow and steady, as if placing a hand upon your shoulder. I know you've been weary. You've prayed, you've waited, you've wondered if I forgot you. But my chosen one, I never left. When you fell, I was there. When you were silent, I was listening. And when you thought every door was closed, right then another began to open. The candle flickers out, then suddenly flares again. A thin curl of smoke rises, twisting like a sign written in air. Warmth fills your chest, your eyes sting, your breath lightens. The voice grows clearer, closer. Tonight, it is no accident you are hearing this. This is a meeting written long ago. I don't need you to believe right away, only to listen, because the moment you listen, you have already stepped into the light. And when you step into the light, all that was old begins to wash away. Outside, the wind stops. Time itself seems to slow. The whole world bows, making room for this one sacred moment, the moment you realize you were chosen. Do not be afraid, the voice softens like a lullaby. For tonight, in this quiet room, you are not alone. I am here, and I am calling your name. You close your eyes. Behind your eyelids, a thin light begins to spread. At its center, there is only one thing you feel: peace. Part 1. The meaning of the trial night falls again, thick and still enough for you to hear the ticking of the clock. The room is silent, as if it's swallowing your breath. You lie there, eyes open, staring at the ceiling, where stray threads of light slip through the curtain and fall upon a face filled with longing. No one knows how many nights you've spent like this, listening to your heartbeat, hearing old memories call your name. Some memories still bleed. Some people you no longer wish to remember, yet cannot forget. You once asked, "Why me? Why must I walk through seasons so long while others seem to find peace in a single day?" And it felt like no answer ever came, only silence stretching into eternity, making you think you'd been abandoned. But then within that silence, a sound so faint it's almost breath, not from the outside, but from within you. A whisper saying you are not behind time. The challenges you've faced are not signs of failure. They are proof that you are being shaped, refined, prepared for something greater than anyone can comprehend. Because chosen one, a crown cannot rest on a head that has never learned to bow. God does not test the weak, He tests those who carry His light. And so that light will not consume them. He lets them walk through the dark first. Darkness is not punishment. It's the classroom where you learn to keep your flame alive. When no one is watching, you remember, don't you? The days you forced a smile in a crowd while your heart was breaking. The moments you stayed silent to keep others from hurting, even as you were falling apart inside. The mornings you woke up, put on your clothes, went to work pretending to be fine, though your soul was ready to give up. No one called your name then, but heaven took note of every second. Each tear that soaked your pillow was a drop of gold melted in the furnace of your soul. Each betrayal, misunderstanding, rejection, every blow was a hammer forging your crown. Maybe you don't see it yet, but your pain has taught you to see with your heart. It taught you to read the sorrow in someone's eyes, to love without condition, to stand strong without needing to prove it. It taught you that gentleness is not weakness, it's the strength of those who've learned to calm the storm within. The long night is the only time God can speak without the world interrupting. When everything falls silent, His whisper grows clear. I am not late, neither are you. Everything is on time. Look back every time you thought you lost everything. Didn't something new appear? A stranger's encouragement, an unexpected open door, a small opportunity that made your heart beat again. That was not coincidence, it was heaven's quiet reward for your faith in the dark. God is teaching you to stand unshaken when the wind changes, and He knows that only through solitude will you learn to stay upright, with no one holding you. Loneliness doesn't come to break you, it comes to teach you how to become your own star. Sometimes you feel left behind while others move ahead. But your path is not a race, it's a launch. When an arrow is pulled back, it isn't retreating, it's gaining momentum. You may be in the pulled back season of destiny, when everything seems against you. But do not fear. When God releases His hand, you'll understand why He made you wait. Every painful stretch today is adding power to your flight tomorrow. Trials are furnaces, and furnaces burn hot. But that fire won't destroy you. It only burns away what no longer belongs: illusions, fears, wrong attachments, small desires. All are melting, revealing the pure gold within your spirit. One day you'll stand in the light and not feel overwhelmed. You'll thank the sleepless nights, the heartbreaks, the wounds that once made you tremble, because they are proof you were chosen, refined, and prepared for a mission only you could carry. And when you feel too tired to go on, close your eyes and hear that same whisper again. You are not behind time. You are not late. You are moving in perfect rhythm with a divine plan. Take a slow, deep breath. Feel your heartbeat. Each pulse is heaven's reminder you are still guided, still loved, still right where you are meant to be. Trials don't come to block your path. They come to widen your heart. For the crown is not placed on the fastest. It rests on the ones who learned to pause, to endure, and to love even in the dark. Remember this. Every time you think you're late, heaven is preparing the stage for your arrival. And when that moment comes, you'll see every hardship was not a circle of pain, but a straight road leading to light. You are not behind time. You were never late. You were only being held by God until the crown was ready to fit perfectly and worthily. Part 2. The Signs and the Promise. Lately, you've begun to notice something repeating itself. At first, you thought it was random, a set of numbers, a sound, a dream. But then it came again, a second time, a third, a fourth, and something inside you trembled quietly, deeply. In the morning, you open your phone, 777 rests neatly on your coffee receipt. By noon, you glance at your watch, 4:44 p.m. exactly. At night, you close your book and your eyes land right on page 77. Each time your heart tightens just a little, as if hearing a distant rhythm calling your name. Then night falls. As the city sleeps, you hear the bell again, 3 soft rings. The sound drifts through the air like a thin stream of light slipping into your mind. You close your eyes, trying to brush it away, but it stays as if someone is quietly calling you in the dark. You tell your friends. They laugh. They say it's just coincidence, imagination. But deep down, you know better. Something sacred is trying to speak to you. One night, you dream again. The same dream you've seen before. You're standing in a mist-covered field. In the center floats a crown made of light hovering above the ground. Every time you step closer, a white bird flies across, and you wake suddenly, your heart racing. Everything fades, but the echo of the dream clings to you all day. It wasn't just a dream, it was a promise sent in the form of an image, because God doesn't always speak with words. He speaks through signs, through holy coincidences, through dreams that only a sensitive heart can hear. 777. The number of completion, the sign that an old cycle has ended and a new chapter is beginning. It's the breath of heaven whispering that everything is moving in divine order. 444, the number of foundation and protection. Every time you see it, it means an angel is standing beside you, guarding your steps, whether you notice or not. And the bell that is the sound of awakening. It doesn't come to scare you. It comes to call you back to your rightful place, the place of the chosen. You start to realize these signs never appear by chance. They always come right when you're about to give up, when you think you can't take another step. And suddenly, 1111 flashes before you like a gentle tap from the universe saying, "Don't stop. I'm still here." And in that moment, your throat tightens, not from fear, but from awe. Because in this noisy, chaotic world, something unseen yet tender still remembers your name. Over time, you notice the numbers aren't just numbers anymore. They've become a secret language between you and God. Each time you see them, you smile softly as if nodding back to a message you've received. You remember the verse, "Whoever is faithful with little will also be faithful with much." And you realize God is testing your heart through these little things, a number, a dream, a midnight bell. If you're sensitive enough to notice, you'll see He's been speaking to you all along. One evening, walking down a familiar street, you notice a crown painted in gold on a wall. Beneath it, the words, "It's already yours." You stop frozen. No one knows why your eyes begin to blur with tears. It's that sacred resonance, something reason can't explain. That's when you understand the promise has arrived. The crown is no longer a symbol. It's confirmation. Every wound you've carried, every battle you've endured, none of it was in vain. They were the golden thread stitching you to the reward God has prepared. This crown isn't made of gold or jewels. It's made of the light born from patience of kindness, found in suffering of trust, kept alive in confusion. Every tear you've shed has turned into a piece of light set into its rim. When you see 777, remember it's the sound of one journey ending. When you see 444, know you are protected. And when 1111 appears, pause and whisper, "I hear you, Lord. I know you're calling me." Because these signs are not just messages. They are the heartbeat of destiny, the way heaven reminds you that you were never alone. And tonight, when the bell rings again, 3 long echoes drifting through the wind. Close your eyes. Feel the vibration spread through your chest, dissolving into the air like light falling upon water. That is the moment of covenant, the moment when, without saying a word, your soul quietly answers, "Yes, Lord, I've heard you. I'm ready to receive your promise." The promise doesn't arrive with noise or thunder. It comes in silence, like an unseen hand resting on your shoulder, like a warm breath against your ear. And in that stillness, all the coincidences you once questioned begin to line up, forming a melody too perfect to be random. You realize nothing was coincidence. Every number, every bell, every dream was a note in the song God wrote just for you. This story isn't about how you found the signs. It's about how the signs found you. And now, as your heartbeat slows and your eyes gently close, your soul whispers, "You are not behind time. You are right where the promise begins. The crown is waiting, and the light has already shown you the way. All you have to do is keep walking." Part 3. Healing the Family and Forgiveness. At the dinner table, the chair across from you is still empty, just like every other day. The dishes are set, but no one sits down. The phone on the table buzzes. Once, then stops a missed call from someone you no longer know how to face. Your heart sinks. Memories flood back, arguments, sharp words, sleepless nights, filled with what ifs and if only. You stare at the empty chair, and suddenly it dawns on you. Sometimes emptiness is the way God calls you home. Not back to a house, but to a piece of your heart you've locked away for too long. Then a familiar voice rises within you, soft as wind brushing through a curtain. You were never abandoned. The words choke you, because if anything has ever hurt the deepest, it wasn't loss, it was the feeling of being left behind. You remember those days sitting at the table with your family, yet feeling utterly alone. Meals shared but hearts distant. Smiles that hid the cracks no one dared to touch. You tried so hard to be understood, to be loved, but your efforts always turned into hollow echoes. And somewhere along the way, you chose silence. But God never intended for you to live in that silence forever. He didn't let you walk through heartbreak just to learn endurance. He wanted you to learn forgiveness. Forgiveness for them, and forgiveness for yourself. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It means no longer letting the wound control you. It's when you can look back at the memory without trembling. It's when you understand they were only humans too, fumbling through their own fears. Just like you. You place your hand over your heart and take a slow breath. Faces begin to appear, the ones who hurt you, the ones you resented, the ones you swore you'd never speak to again. And somewhere between those breaths, a tender voice whispers, "My child, they were hurting too. They didn't know how to love you right, but they never stopped loving you." Then the tears come, not tears of bitterness, but of release. You realize that the moment you forgive, the chains around your own soul begin to fall away. Forgiveness is the only key that opens the door to true freedom, because you cannot step into your future with a heart still bound to the past. You remember that last argument, the cold stare, the harsh words. If only you had known it would be the last time you'd hear their voice. You might have chosen to hold them instead of fighting back. But time doesn't turn around. Still, God can heal even what cannot be undone. Now imagine another table, no empty chairs, no chill in the air. There, the souls of those you once loved and those who once wounded you sit beside you, smiling gently. They are not angry. They are waiting for you to let go. And God says, "You cannot wear the crown of light while your hands still cling to the dark. Open them. Let go. Forgive." You close your eyes and whisper, "I forgive them, myself, the past." And in that sacred moment, something shifts. No fireworks, no blinding light, just a quiet weight lifting from your chest. You understand now, forgiveness doesn't make you weak, it makes you strong. Because only great souls dare to love again after being broken. When you choose forgiveness, the energy of pain stops with you. It no longer passes on. You become the wall that ends the cycle of hurt, the bridge that turns bitterness into love. And that, more than anything else, is holy. You open your eyes. The light in the room feels warmer. The air seems to breathe with you. On the table, the phone lights up again this time. Not a missed call, but a message. Are you okay, from the very person you once wanted to forget? You smile. No heaviness, no tears. Just a small, soft smile, enough to hold a lifetime of healing. Then God whispers again, his voice gentle as wind through leaves. You were never abandoned. I only held you back so you could learn to love without condition. And when you love as I do, everything you lost returns only more beautiful. You look out the window. The moon has risen round radiant calm. Its light spills over the table, wrapping the empty chair in a warm glow. For the first time, you don't feel alone. Because now you know a heart that forgives has become a home where God himself can dwell. And that night, as you whisper, I was never abandoned, the sky seems to breathe back its wind, carrying a quiet blessing. You have unlocked destiny, and the door to peace begins to open. Part 4. The Threshold of 11. 11. The night has deepened. The world is quiet as a still lake, only the clock on the wall softly counting time. Outside the window, the wind has stopped. The moon hangs motionless, as if pausing to witness what is about to unfold. You glance at the clock. 11:10, just one more minute. Your heart begins to beat faster, not from fear, but from a strange awareness, a sacred sense that something is drawing near. You don't know exactly what you're waiting for, but your soul does. It accepted the invitation long ago. Only now has the appointed time arrived. 11:11, the minute hand meets its mark. No sound, and yet you hear it. A faint click, like a door somewhere in the universe quietly opening. Then 3 bells ring, slow, resonant, echoing through your chest. The first slows your heart, the second deepens your breath, and the third carries something words can't describe: peace. You close your eyes, and in that moment, you're no longer in your room. The space around you dissolves, replaced by a soft golden mist. Every fear, every memory, every wound begins to melt away, layer by layer, until only stillness remains. A voice speaks, familiar, deep, and gentle as candlelight. This is the threshold, my child. In your mind's eye, you open your eyes. Before you stands a door of light, not grand or towering, but pure, simple, luminous as morning breath. Beyond it, you can sense perfect stillness, not empty, but overflowing with love. The voice continues, I have led you through dark nights, through trials and tears. Now it is time to step through to where fear ends and faith begins. You take a step forward, then pause. Something in you hesitates, afraid of change, afraid of losing what's familiar, afraid to trust what you cannot see. But then your heart whispers back, you don't have to understand, just believe. You exhale. A long, slow breath, releasing every burden that once held you back. With that breath, your heart settles, steady, calm, touched by heaven's hand. The door of light shimmers softly, and you know, one more step and everything will shift. Not the world itself, but the way you see it. Not time, but the way you feel it. Not others, but the one within you. You gently close your eyes again. Place your hand on your chest and listen. 1, 2, 3 beats, moving in rhythm with the pulse of the universe. The voice returns steady and kind. Surrender. Trust. Surrender is not defeat. Trust is not blindness. It is stepping into the hands of the one who leads you, walking without seeing, yet knowing every path he chooses ends in light. You breathe in deeply. A warm current flows through your lungs, spreading across your body. You feel cleansed, weightless, pure. Every doubt fades, leaving only gratitude. The voice softens now, just a whisper of wind near your ear. When you cross this threshold, you do not just change your fate. You transform the light within you. You are no longer the seeker. You are the bearer of light. You open your eyes. The door still stands brighter than ever. You smile, take one slow step forward, and the moment your foot touches the light, all sound vanishes. No ticking clock, no echoing bell, only sacred silence. Time itself holds its breath. Then the light envelops you, gentle, not blinding. It wraps around you like an embrace. It moves through every cell as if you are being reborn. A new breath fills your chest, and you know you have crossed over. The clock outside still reads 11:11, but you are no longer on the same side of time. You have touched eternity. The voice whispers one last time, soft as wind against your soul. From now on, walk in peace. You no longer have to run. You are exactly where you are meant to be. Right place, right hour, right purpose. And in that moment, you smile. Not for any reason, simply because your heart is at rest. Peace drapes over you like a tender blanket, warm, quiet, alive. Outside, a fourth bell sounds not sharp or urgent, but light, like a farewell wave. It is the bell of beginnings. You have crossed the threshold of 11:11, where time stops counting, and the soul begins to live. Part 5. Rebirth and the New Season. Dawn is rising. The first light of day lays over the earth like a thin, gentle shawl. Everything is still, not the silence of night, but the peace that follows a storm. You open your eyes and take a slow, deep breath. The air is cool, fresh, carrying the scent of beginnings, earth after rain, hope just sprouting. The room where you spent so many sleepless nights now glows softly. Sunlight slips through the curtain and rests upon your hand, lighting every scar, every line, making them shimmer with life. You realize you are still you, yet no longer the same. Your mind is calm now, like water after the wave. No more noise, no more unanswered questions, only clarity, round whole and peaceful. Something new has been born within you, quietly, without thunder or applause, just a soft light unfolding. Then the voice returns, warm, close, as if it speaks from your own heart. You have passed through the night. Now walk into the light. You nod slightly, eyes turning toward the window. The golden light kisses everything, the cold walls, the small green plant. The world hasn't changed, but you have. This sunrise isn't just outside, it's rising inside your soul. You remember all that has passed, the lonely nights, the signs, the dreams, the bells, the numbers, 11:11. Now they connect like threads of gold, forming a straight path that leads right here. A road woven from tears, faith, and the love you once thought you'd lost the strength to give. You whisper, you are not forgotten. You are chosen. This time it isn't someone else reminding you. It's your own heart declaring truth. And as you speak, the words seem alive, as if the universe itself pauses to listen. Outside, the wind stirs the leaves. A quiet applause. The sun climbs higher, casting a long beam of light across the floor, touching your feet. You shiver, not from cold, but from something sacred. You understand now, rebirth isn't becoming someone new. It's remembering who you've always been. It's realizing that beneath every mask, every fall, every moment of breaking, you were always the chosen one. Not chosen to stand above others, but to become the light in someone else's darkness. You step onto the balcony. The sky is changing black to blue to gold. A new day is forming, and within you, a new season begins. A season of peace after trial, of forgiveness after loss, of faith after doubt. A season where you no longer chase signs, because now you are the living sign, the proof that light always wins. You smile softly and whisper to the wind, "Thank you for never forgetting me." The wind answers in silence, yet in that silence you feel that you are seen, known, and heard. The voice breathes again, light as the morning air, but deep as eternity. You are not forgotten. You are chosen. You close your eyes, letting those words melt through you like warm honey. Gratitude rises, spreading through every part of your being. All fear, all doubt, all loneliness dissolve, making room for a tender living light. Now you understand being chosen was never about being lifted above. It was about lifting others, not about leaving the world, but lighting it. When you return to life, nothing will look the same, because your eyes are no longer those of the wounded, but of the healed. You will touch others with gentleness, speak with grace and love with a thankful heart. Morning has fully entered the room. Light rests upon your hair, your hands, your first smile of the day. No more night, no more fear, only life fresh and unfolding. You take a deep breath, whisper one last prayer, I know now, Lord. I was never forgotten, I am chosen. Then you step outside, bare feet, meeting the light, ready to begin your new season, a season of presence, peace, and love. And as you walk, the wind carries a gentle echo from heaven. You are not forgotten, you are chosen. The warm light spills through the window. Every sound outside softens until only slow music remains a melody as tender as dawn's whisper. You sit quietly, your heart steady, your breath even. It feels as if the whole world has just been washed clean by the light of a new day. Somewhere in that stillness, the familiar voice returns, deep, loving, certain, you are not forgotten. You are chosen. I have seen every tear, heard every prayer, and held your hand when you thought you were most alone. You close your eyes, letting the words move through you like a river of warmth, washing away every trace of sorrow, leaving only gratitude and calm. The light in the room softens, golden gentle, as if heaven itself is agreeing with this moment. Now release your shoulders, breathe in, and slowly breathe out. Let go of every weight, every painful memory, every hidden fear. Let it drift away with your breath into the light surrounding you. There is no more night, no more unanswered questions. Only the presence of God softly touching your heart, whispering you have overcome. You are loved. You are chosen. Let this moment become your quiet prayer. No need for perfect words, just truth. Whisper gently but from the depths of your heart. Thank you, Lord, for never forgetting me. And if you feel this truth, if your heart trembles with peace, leave a small sign, a gentle echo toward heaven. Comment Amen or 777 below as your way of saying, I heard my calling. Subscribe so you don't miss the next message, because your journey is still unfolding. And share this video so the light you've received may reach someone who's still wandering in the dark. Remember this. When you share light, the light within you grows brighter. When you say, Amen, heaven answers with a soft wind called hope. Now stay for a moment longer. Listen to the music, feel the warmth in your chest, and smile, because now more than ever, you know the truth. You are not forgotten. You are chosen.